Dr. Lang, psychologist at DL Counseling, www.dlcounseling.com. She's a therapist, an educator, and an author. Welcome to the show, Diane.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about your background and why psychology.
Well, I am what's called a positive psychologist. I actually study the other side. I study happiness, resiliency, optimism, and we work on both coaching and counseling. So a lot of the science that you see for business coaching, life coaching, career coaching is all based on positive psychology. So I think it's a little more exciting than the other side of psychology, like most people say and ask.
Well, looking at your website and things that you speak about, being happy is something that there's too many people in the workplace today, and they're just not happy.
Yeah, that is true. You see a lot of it.
So,
I'm sorry.
Just real quick, but let's take a step back real quick. What is positive psychology?
It is the science behind the study of resiliency, optimism, and happiness.
And so what's so important, although I think we can all answer that, but I want to hear it from the psychologist. What is important about being happy in the workplace?
Well, there's a few things with it. Happiness at work and home really correlate together. So if you're not happy at home, it's going to come with you into the workplace. If you're not, happy at work, you bring it home with you. So it can affect everything you do. So the happier you are, the more productive you are, the more creative you are, both at home and in the workplace. And another part to think about is emotions or moods are contagious. So if you're going into a work environment where the people around you or your supervisors, leaders are not happy, it's going to affect you very quickly, because if you're with somebody whose mood is very negative or they're toxic, it affects you pretty quickly. Like, we recognize someone's mood within 30 seconds to a minute, and that person's mood becomes yours within 10 to 15 minutes. So we really want to be happier because it makes us more creative, more productive, and because moods and emotions are contagious, we want to spread more positivity at the workplace so we have a better environment for everybody.
Okay, what if I'm a customer service operator?
Right.
And I'm just getting pounded all day, and they're yelling in my ear. They didn't come out. They didn't do the service right. They charged me too much. And I'm just angry at this point. I can't take it. I've been doing this for 6 months. I'm ready to, I don't know, I'm ready to go postal. Tell me, what do you tell them? How do we fix it?
Well, it depends. Are you trying to fix the customer unhappiness? Are you trying to fix the employer from not snapping and being able to continue his workday? I mean, there's two different areas. As the employee who's dealing with customers who are not happy and they're taking out their anger on the poor customer service person, it's learning to set boundaries and limitations. It's learning to do self-care so you could stay, above what's happening.
Yes.
So you need a lot of self-care. You need to take breaks where you can meditate is a great way, mindfulness, where people literally would just go into their cubicle for a few minutes, 1 to 3 minutes, where they can clear their mind and just relax, refresh, and refuel. Because if you have that constantly at you, it definitely could bring you down.
I want you to hold that thought, because we're going to get back after this break, and I want to talk more about the meditation thing. I'm going to bring Michael and Merv up to speed on meditating because they're way too worked up in here today. All right, thank you. We'll be right back with CEO Money and Diane Lang. Okay, welcome back to CEO Money. I'm here with Diane Lang. Almost said Diane Lane. Do you get people say that to you all the time? Wait a minute, are you the actress?
I've actually got a phone call from an agent who somehow thought I was Diane Lane, and I had to explain to him it wasn't him, it wasn't her.
You should have went with it and went out to do the movie and said, "I'm here. What are you talking about? I cashed the check."
Would have noticed that I was somebody different.
Okay, so you were telling us about being happy in the workplace if you're stressed out. Really, the simplest thing to do is it meditation in your cubicle?
Yes, there's certain ways that we can really be more mindful and really quickly. So we need to refresh, we need to refuel so we come back and we're not as angered if that was the issue, or anxiety, or just to become more productive and creative. So a few different things that people do in a workplace is they can do some stretches, and these are things that you can do in your cubicle or your office where you're really just releasing the tension out of your body. And we all hold that stress and anxiety on our body. So we could do a muscle tension relaxation technique, which is just tensing the muscle groups that we're having the stress in, maybe, your arms, your shoulders, even your face. It's tensing them and then letting go. And doing that 2 or 3 times, and that'll release all the tension in the muscle groups, which makes us physically feel better. Another avenue to reduce the clutter in our heads, or that, loop that tells us, how am I going to deal with this? I can't take it anymore, whatever we're feeling, is to go into your cubicle and do some deep breathing. And what that means is just to inhale through your nose, hold for a second or two, and then release through your mouth. And it's very easy and simple, and you could do that a few times. You could just sit comfortably in your chair at your desk, close your eyes, do some really deep breathing, and that'll instantly make a difference. For other people, they like journal writing, where they just release what just happened. So they just keep, whether it's on the computer, they keep a pad close by, and they just write out what just happened. But you want to release it so you're not holding on to it and taking it personally, and also taking it home with you. So any kind of mindfulness activities, or even better, if you can get outside for 5 minutes, just take a quick walk right around outside, get some fresh air, take some deep breaths outside, just for, 5 minutes or so, and then come back in and refuel if you can do that as well, because those are all mindfulness techniques that will help de-stress and relax you.
So have you had the opportunity to companies bring you in to talk to their employees and try to change the culture?
Yes, I actually do a lot of speaking at companies where they bring you in to really help teach the other employees some mindfulness techniques, how to be happier, again, both home and at the workplace, so they can really have more of a balanced life. So, we go over things as making sure your basic needs are met, because just thinking about the simple, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not drinking enough water, if you're not eating right or eating enough during the day, that can make you very snappy. All you have to do is look at the Snickers commercial when everybody's like hangry, the hungry, angry mix.
So there's the perfect commercial for you.
Exactly. And it's just your basic needs are met. And when people are working, we tend to work 60 to 80 hours a week now, because we're always on with technology and our commutes are much longer. So, then you go home and you have family and you have things to do with the kids and home, and people are just feeling stressed all the time, and they're not taking care of themselves. So a good place for a lot of people to start is just making sure their basic needs are met.
So have you found some of the workplaces that you've gone into that you've actually had to retrain the employer, like, where they are just going, wait a minute, you can't take breaks right here. I need you producing.
Yes, we've actually had to talk to a few of the higher-ups to really let them know that when a client is happier and de-stressed, they have a less absenteeism rate, they have less turnover rate, and they're more productive, they're more creative, and you see happy employees make everybody else around happy, and it's a better work environment for everybody. And when people want to be at the company, they're happier and they do more. So it benefits everybody, both financially and emotionally, to have a positive workplace. So yes, one of the things that CEOs have a big problem with, or supervisors when they first hear it, is to reduce multitasking. And that's always hard because we're such type A personalities. But even something as simple as reducing multitasking makes people do much better work.
God,
so,
how do you do that today?
Technique.
Everything is multitasking. And then all of a sudden with the technology, it's forcing us to multitask more. I don't even know how to think that, but that's for another day, and we're going to get into that further. Dr. Diane Lang, psychologist at D&L Counseling, at dnlcounseling.com. How else can they reach you, Diane?
They can reach me right at dlcounseling.com, and on there is my email address that they can reach me at as well.
So will you actually respond back to them by an email? Do you do it, or do you have an assistant? What if they say,
no,
I need you?
I actually try to answer everybody. It sometimes takes a few days, but I definitely do. I just rather give the personal touch.
Diane, thanks so much for being part of this show, and I hope all the employers out there that are listening, breathe, meditate.
Thank you.
Okay.